I'm about to share it to my ex. I just posted it to my ex. It's up there. We got some crazy topics for the show tonight. This is wild.
Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence. Powered by vibes. This is Peasy.
Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin. It's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?
Good evening and welcome to the nightly recap powered by the Gokhshtein News Network, your trusted source for politics, crypto, and everything in between that makes you question reality. I am your host, the great Hotep Jesus, and I have a very, very special guest tonight. He is controversial. I think he got the most haters in crypto. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Kurt Verker.
What's up, man?
Listen, I see the W in it. To me, that's a V in German. You got to have German descent, right?
Yeah, so good.
I did it right. Let's go. Yeah. It's no worker. This is Verkert.
Verkert. Yeah.
Verkert. Yeah. I took German in like 7th grade.
Nice. Yeah. I did not. My grandpa spoke German, so I picked up a little bit, but I'm not a speaker.
Oh, damn. You are like German.
I'm on that side of the family, yeah.
Oh, wow. Damn. Okay. So I hit that nail on the head. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's definitely a German name.
Yep.
We got a lot of great stuff to talk about tonight. There's a power struggle at the Fed. President Trump warns he'll fire Governor Lisa Cook if she refuses to resign. Did you hear about that story?
Just briefly, you know what? I try to ignore the news on Fridays for my sanity, but if it's so I heard Bolton's house got raided, and I've heard some hints of maybe Ghislaine Maxwell never saw Don doing anything crazy, and then I saw that too. Like she's either gonna quit or she's fired. I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, it's racism. I'm gonna just say it. She's black. You know what's really happening here? I think what happened is Trump has had such a hard time dealing with legal troubles with the left over the past few years. And he's like, listen, man, y'all want to play? We could play. You better make sure your house is clean. And he's coming around and he's circling the wagons. And, like you said, the FBI raided Bolton's house. They found... I don't know what they found. Maybe they found Diddy's baby oil in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
He looks like Colonel Sanders' nephew or something. So I don't know. Maybe they found the original recipe or something.
Listen, not to be too black, but
oh man, we did not set that up.
That just happened to be a coincidence. Okay, that was just pure coincidence. All right. Oh Lord have mercy. That's crazy. Powell's cutting it close. President Trump says Fed Chair Jerome Powell was too late on the rate cuts and that he should have added them or lowered them years ago. I agree with that, Kurt. I say the interest rate should be zero. Do you agree with that or not?
I don't think the Fed has the authority to tell the economy what it's supposed to do. I think if I go to my bank and I'm credit worthy, they can look at me and say, hey, Kurt, you seem like a guy who pays his bills. Here's a loan at 2%. And then if I show up and I look like a guy who doesn't know how to pay his bills, like maybe it's 5 or 6. But I think a guy named Jerome Powell saying, hey, it's 5-6% for 350 million people, and then spill over to like the other 4 billion people on Earth who are kind of entangled in the U.S. system. Like I don't think he should have that authority. So
you know what? I'm gonna say something controversial. I'm pro Federal Reserve. And for all the wrong reasons. I'll be honest, it's for all the wrong reasons. I mean, without the Federal Reserve, how would we have conquered the world?
So I agree, and that's actually the thing. People, especially Bitcoiners will shit on like Keynesian economics and stuff, and I'm like, guys, Keynes came up with a way for Britain to take over half the planet, and then the U.S. just kind of took the same idea and said, you know what, let's turbocharge that and take over the rest, right? And so that's the point. So if you understand that that's why it exists, like, yeah, it's a great system.
Okay, at least we have some consensus there.
Yeah.
We got some agreements there. I mean, here's the thing. You got two options. The money is managed by a private entity, in this case, a quasi-private entity, or it's managed by Maxine Waters and the House Financial Services Committee.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So I'm just like, you know what, Jerome, just stay there, because think about the way our government wastes money. Like, do we really want them in charge of the dollar?
I mean, I don't want him in charge of anything. Like, I'm one of those guys who shows up, like, people start talking and I'm looking at like, hey, when did I consent to this? Like, how can I opt out here? Right. So no, it's a bunch of nonsense. And you're absolutely right. It's like, you're stuck choosing, like, if you take the premise, you're stuck choosing between lesser of two evils at every turn. And it's like, what, whose life is this? It's like, can I just literally fire everybody? Like, leave me alone. That is my, I got a doormat in front of my house says, leave me alone. Like, that's it. Like, I'm not saying anything else about it, but if you're going to knock, it better be good.
Listen, my second appearance on a Joe Rogan Experience, I literally said I rewrote the Constitution and it says, leave me the F alone. That's what the Constitution should say.
I mean, in so many words, that is what it says. but and that's the thing. people don't care though. It's like you get your lawyers, and everybody wants to do this. Here's the problem: is that people don't actually want to be free. They want to make their way into the position of authority. So they look at oppression and they're like, all right, like that pisses me off, but I'm going to be in charge at some point in the future. And so I don't want to let everybody be free. I want to get me in charge. Like I want to be the guy with the whip. Right. And that's the problem. Like it is a deep fundamental problem with people where they don't like freedom. We act like we like freedom, but then it's like, no, man, we're just competing to be the head of the prison, basically.
Right. It's like when people, they're like, oh, slavery was bad. And I'm like, well, I would kind of like to own a few slaves. It wasn't all bad. Now, it depends on what side of the whip you were on.
Well, right. Well, and it's the same thing. Like talking about slavery, too. It's like, yeah, we got rid of a certain kind of slavery, but it's everything we do is the soft version of what we used to do. So it's like people used to ride in, slaughter everybody, take the women, like that kind of thing. And now it's like, okay, like people are going to film me doing this now. So instead, I'm just going to kind of put everybody in debt. Like you work for me. If you quit, you don't have any health care anymore. And so it's slavery anyways. But you get to be the good guy at the end of it. It's like, well, hey man, I was paying you to do, whatever it is. So yeah.
Yeah, we work, what is it? I think a third of the year to pay our taxes, and then we actually get money for the other 2/3. Yeah. It's definitely modern slavery. Trade tensions ease up. Canada is set to lift their retaliatory tariffs on numerous U.S. products. I feel like Canada needs us more than we need them. Am I wrong on that?
I mean, they've got more minerals than we do.
Okay.
So like it's kind of the same thing with Africa. It's like why isn't Africa in charge of the universe? Like they've got all the precious metals basically, but like it's a gumption thing. Like it's a lot of things, but for Canada it's like it's cold, man. We're taking the winter off, and it's like, man, get some investors and get some people that want to work in the cold, because you guys are sitting on like $1 trillion of oil and rare earth metals and all this other stuff, and like. But it is like their whole. I don't know how much business you've ever done with Canadians, but like you start working with like the Toronto Stock Exchange and these guys, and they act like they're Wall Street guys. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, what are you guys doing? Like, it's just it freaks me out. It freaks me out the same way that like dealing with Europeans does, right? Like I'm German by nature, but it's like, hey man, September's coming up, and we're just taking the month off. And I'm like, what? How does it work, man? Like it's Oktoberfest in September, and we're taking a vacation. And I'm just like, I'm American. I work 80 hours a week, except for like Christmas Day, and like, yeah.
It is different. I had an opportunity to work with Ukrainians, mostly for illicit purposes, but
cool.
French company. He was a douchebag. The French are douche. I feel like I just want to. Are they like, he was an asshole? The guy I worked for.
So I when I worked in cybersecurity, I liked working with everybody except for the French and the Israelis. Like those people just hate everybody that isn't them, and everybody else is pretty cool. I actually like the Ukrainians that I've worked with. Okay. Same with even like on and off people in the Middle East and people who are like, oh, they're scary. I'm like, bro, they're super nice relative to the French and the Israelis, man.
Yeah. I did that. Yeah, my Arab friends is definitely a lot cooler than the French. The French guy I worked for, I was like, I wanted to just punch him through the Zoom screen. I'm like, shut up, you little
big
bitch.
Attitude.
Yeah. And he was very pompous. Like, it was like I was the stupid American. And I'm like, you hired me to help you because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, right? And you do understand that I'm the smart one here, right? Yeah. It's fucking terrible. A mysterious shift in leadership. Now, I wasn't aware of this. The head of the IRS crypto unit, Trish Turner, has resigned. Did you hear about that?
I did not. That's news to me too.
Yeah, this was news to me. Kurt, this is magnificently fascinating, because before it was like, if you put out a crypto video, you lose your YouTube channel, you lose your Facebook channel. And now it's like, hey, Trump admin, it's just like, there's like literally no regulations. It's a complete U-turn. Why do you think that we are in this space now? Are they opening the gates for, because I'm always leery when they start opening the gates. I'm like, why are you being so nice? It's that type of situation. Are you a little leery of them opening these gates and law and regulations?
Big time. So
Really?
I've been talking about the people that I've been talking about, the dangerous people in the blockchain space. This is your like Peter Thiel types and Andreessen Horowitz, like Reid Hoffman, some of these guys, like old school PayPal mafia guys, all kind of turned into a bunch of Silicon Valley VCs. We've done really, really well in fintech. It's like all the stuff that you use to make payments or be in like social media. They're all making money on your data. And they were very anti-crypto for a very long time, anti-Bitcoin and all this stuff. Then they start making these strategic investments like circa 2014, 15.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, all these guys who were kind of anti-Bitcoin are all of a sudden very like, oh, we're pro-Bitcoin, but like definitely use our companies, use our exchanges, use our tools, use our wallets, use our stuff. And now a bunch of these guys, they turned into, and I think a lot of it has to do with Tether. Tether is owned by Bitfinex Corporation or iFinex Corporation, which owns Bitfinex and a few other entities. But Tether is like multi-trillion-dollar. I mean, they're essentially a digital Federal Reserve with no headquarters or sitting on Paulo Ordonio's laptop in El Salvador or the Bahamas, depending on what week it is. And and now they're the largest bondholder of U.S. Treasuries. They're the largest, the biggest one in the world, Yeah. And so now all of a sudden they've got a lot of leverage on stuff like that, because if it's not for the dollar, like we were talking about, the dollar is what keeps the U.S. in charge of everything. But now the biggest bondholder on the dollar is a couple of like corrupt gambler, like they ran casinos that were able to see everybody's cards. That's how the Tether guys made their money 15 years ago. And now they're running essentially the most liquid digital bank in the history of the world. And their guy, so Howard Lutnick is the guy, whispering in Trump's ear every day. And frankly, probably pulling his leash more than people would like to admit. And then you got JD Vance, who's a Peter Thiel protege. You got all these guys. It's all these same people are kind of installed there. Trump was anti-Bitcoin, anti-crypto until what, 2.5 years ago? Right. And then all of a sudden, the big pivot, like, you know what, I'm going to go get that Bitcoin money. All those Bitcoin people, they're going to pay to put me in the White House. I'll throw a couple bones. We'll get Ross Ulbricht out of prison, some of this stuff. And now what I think's coming is digital dollar. And it's going to be managed by Cantor Fitzgerald, because that's Howard Lutnick's company. And then Tether's going to get a little bit whitewashed and like, hey, yeah, there's a few $1 trillion worth of money laundering stuff that went on over but we were all cowboys, right? And then then it all comes in. Everybody's super happy. Everybody claps. Everybody, yay, we won. It's another freedom victory, right? Yeah. And it's not. It's one more layer of soft slavery, like we were talking about earlier, where it's like, hey, cool, I got these dollars, but they're censorable. They're tracked permanently everywhere. And the second they don't like what you do or say, or if you know what, I don't feel like paying my taxes, like, boom, you've been seized. And that's the underlying thing that I think is going on. And then at the top level, there's also a lot of money to be made scamming on Trump coin and all this other nonsense that they've pulled out, like billions. They're making billions of dollars on this stuff on the front end, which is great for them. But on the back end, it's a big time power play. It is like New World Order, Panopticon, Orwellian, like crazy stuff.
That's what I always tell people. They're like, these people want money. I'm like, no, you want money. They want power.
Yes.
Because power is stronger than money.
Big time.
And that's, you can get in certain rooms, you can start dictating policy and, the way the world works. I was reading an article the other day. The homie Will sent this in. You know about the tattoo?
I don't know.
Oh man, they got a nano capacitor tattoo now, and and Bill Gates is saying that we won't use a cell phone anymore, and we'll move into a nano capacitor. It's tattoo, and you'll control your devices like this.
Oh, miss me with that, man. I'm about to be Amish. Here we go. Get the carriage out, kids.
You're not going to get the iOS tattoo?
No, big time, no way.
it plugs into like the electrical, force field or some shit of your systems or some shit.
Yeah, whatever, like right into your soul, whatever it is that makes your heart beat, like that's what powers your new tap to pay tattoo.
That's literally what it says. It says it will track your heartbeat.
Oh God.
It will detect geolocation. It will tell you if you have any ailments or illnesses, because obviously
you got COVID again. Yeah. Better stay home.
Oh my God. So this is what Bill Gates says is coming up. Now, that also enters, I think the medium point is wearables. Are you doing the wearables, the AI wearables or anything?
So I do wear a Whoop tracker for fitness stuff. Oh, magic thumbs up. Maybe I got a chip in me that I don't even know. But
what's that?
Did you see the thumbs up on screen?
Yeah, I saw that.
It just popped up. I don't know. So it seemed automatic. I don't know. Yeah, look at it. I don't know.
You got a chip, bro.
I don't know. We're in trouble now, man. So, anyways,
What's
so I
the
do
WAP?
It's
What ass
Whoop.
pussy?
WHOOP, Whoop or Whoop or wherever the hell you're from. But it tracks your heart rate, your skin temperature. It tells you your sleep cycles. Tell me my all that stuff. But I can slide it on and off my arm and make it disappear. But I'm kind of a fitness guy. I work out twice a day. I'm a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach in the evenings, that kind of stuff. So I'm very deliberate about calories in, food quality, all of that stuff. And the Whoop helps me keep my data, but it's my data. So
I don't know. It seems like you one step away from the tattoo, Kurt.
The first rule in anything secure, right, is that you have to be able to burn your keys, right? So this is why I don't use facial, like for my phone. Like my phone doesn't unlock with my face. Same thing. I don't use my fingerprint for things, because it's like that's the kind of thing that, like, somebody else gets my iris or my fingerprint, like I'm done, right? I can just be duplicated in a factory somewhere. But with the Whoop, I slide it right off my arm. It's gone. It's on a rubber band essentially around my arm. So, and
all the data is local
on my phone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's not going to the cloud.
I'm not sharing my data with anybody.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Cool. You know what I want, man? I want there's a next gen heads up display meta glasses. Would you be interested in something like that?
In theory, I mean, if they're done right. Every time I've ever seen this done, they're too heavy or they're too weird, and I don't want to look like Mark Zuckerberg in glasses.
So they have them. They're eyeglasses now, but the prototype is like super thick, and they're really like ugly. They don't look right. But I'm sure the final version will probably be like Ray-Ban look.
Yeah. Doesn't Ray-Ban make them? I think Ray-Ban makes some kind of meta thing.
Yeah, they have the meta glasses, but they don't have the heads up display.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It just has the audio feature, so it has the microphone and speaker, so it can analyze things that you're looking at. But I'm going to wait for the next version that has the heads up display. But the thing is, it comes with a wristband. And the wristband is monitoring like your electrical impulses or whatever. And now you're like controlling stuff like this.
I mean, that's kind of cool. So the technology, like that part of it's awesome. Right. But it's the same thing. Like I can take the glasses off. I can take the wristband off. I can go, I can be Amish in 48 hours, right? Like Kirk disappeared to Pennsylvania. He just threw a hat on. Like, we're good. But like... Yeah.
So you're like me, because some people are like, oh, Hotep Jesus sold out because he wants the meta glasses. I'm like, listen, I want the meta glasses, but you're right. Like, as long as I can detach from it, I'm cool. I think the tattoo is where things get a little weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a weird tech geek like that. I always want the new gadget.
Same.
Yeah. I saw another wearable out there because I'm like, I want an AI assistant with me all the time. How are you with AI? Are you afraid of AI? You think there are demons in the AI or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
So I mean, I have some outside concerns, just like anybody, right? Like, I think the AI, the more that you can educate them like a human being, the more it's possible for them to become a sociopath. So, like, my biggest concern is the people that are programming these things are like godless, childless cretins in Silicon Valley. And so imagine those people raising a child that's going to be my personal assistant. Like, that part, like, that can be problematic. Okay. That being said, the technology is awesome. I think nobody's bullish enough on the tech, the fundamental part of the tech. And I think we need good people working on this stuff, because like Sam Altman, not a good person. Mark Zuckerberg, not a good person. Like, Elon. I don't think Elon's a good dude either. I think he's an opportunist and he can be useful, but I don't think he's a good person so I think he's an empty vessel in a lot of ways, and he's a workaholic. And so like, that's why he's successful, but I don't think he's got some deep moral fabric or anything like that. So no, same thing. Like Grok, it's a problem. All of it's a problem. Yeah. But the underlying tech, like I'll tell you right now, like my company does R&D in blockchain stuff. And like, we're using Claude code. We're using a bunch of these tools to like literally 100x our productivity on developing software. And I mean, that stuff is bonkers. It is like it's like hiring 50 people that are trained on you. So it's like, I hate outsourcing stuff to, hey, we'll get some Indians to do it for $12 an hour or whatever. Right. And it's like, that can be okay, but it's got to come back to an engineer that really understands it. And so it's a bunch of work. Now, if I can just duplicate my best engineer and make him 50 different agents that are based on his code and his repos and all of his stuff, now I get my best guy and I can duplicate him forever. And it's, I only got to pay him once, but we got all the computers that are happy to work for you for free. And it's an incredible boost in productivity. So, I mean, I'm super pumped, man. Like this is the kind of thing that makes the economy explode upward. And we've had a slow economy for a couple of years. And now it's like, hey, how would you feel about 100x or maybe 1,000x, 10,000x productivity boost? There it is, man. We're going to make it. So, yeah.
My dream was always to publish an app, and I used AI and published an app in the App Store. And I shout out to fitboy.app. Somebody in the chat says they want to use Wix, and I'm like, Wix? I use Replit. Like, Wix is out of here. We using AI to build the stuff now. Replit is amazing. You go find somebody's website, you steal their UI, and
we have put out for clients. We've put out like 25 websites in the last like 2 weeks, and they're not simple. This is complex stuff. This is dragging in multiple data sources. It's financial stuff. And the problem is, you get a bunch of goofballs that don't know what they're doing. That's got all kinds of security holes. But my people are professional software engineers. And so they are able to not just vibe code. They're not like, hey man, make sure it's got an SSL certificate or whatever. They see that it's done right. And when it's done right, it's incredible. We're having an incredible year because of all this AI tooling. And we're not going backwards on that for sure.
Yeah, I see a lot of people vibe coding, and then they got all types of security issues. I'm like, you're a dumbass. I think it was the T app. People's identities were being leaked to the internet because the dude left the passwords in the back end of the code, and I'm like, you can't vibe code something. You have to hire somebody at some point.
Was that the one? There was one like it was like a girl gossip dating app or whatever.
Yeah,
was that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. Yeah, they had all the passwords in like a plain text file on the server with the website. So
yeah, I'm like, wow, bro, you freaking idiot. Yeah. All right, we're gonna come back to that conversation in a moment because I love AI. Jerome Powell drops a hint. He teases interest rate cuts. I'm very interested to see about this because with interest rate cuts, sometimes what happens is it spooks investors because they think that you're cutting interest rates to fix a problem. So sometimes the markets take a little dip. Do you think, personally, I think Jerome has done the right thing in not cutting interest rates?
Yeah.
How do you view that situation?
Yeah, I mean, inflation is way worse than anybody wants to talk about. And the only way to harden the dollar is by having high interest rates. for people that have cash in the bank, like that's been great. You're earning 6-7% interest on your stuff just sitting in a basic savings account. Like that's a good thing. That's how you re-harden the dollar, because you have to have these cycles, right? And it's been difficult. It sucks. Like anybody sitting in, like this last Bitcoin boom, everybody's like, yeah, man, we're going to 250,000, we're going to $1 million. And it's like, guys, you need like $10 trillion to spill into Bitcoin, but like ain't nobody spending their cash right now when interest rates are like that. Now, if interest rates drop all of a sudden, like if we start seeing points drop quarter over quarter, then we start to see stuff really pump. Like, then it, maybe it is like BTC to 500 grand or something by, 6 months after that starts. But that's the point. You have to know what to do. You have to listen to the Fed. And, I can hate the Fed. I can tell you why they suck. I can tell you why they're predatory, whatever. They're all slave masters and whatever. But like, hey, they're in charge of the plantation right now. And if they tell you what they're going to do, you just got to play the game the way that you're going to play it if you're going to live on this plantation. And so that's what it is, So like being in cash or largely in cash has been a basically good thing. And then your classic hedges against inflation. So like gold has outpaced what anybody thought it would for a long time. Now, Peter Schiff's been sitting in gold for 20 years flat. So like he really needed the last like 12 months to happen. But he's not wrong. He's not fundamentally wrong. His time horizon is long and weird and whatever. But yeah, no, I think as interest rates come down, and I think it could be time to bring them down as long as they're brought down slowly. If he really dipped them, I think inflation would become a problem again pretty quickly. But especially with these budgets, man, like Trump wants to spend 35 trillion or bring the debt up to like 35 trillion with a bunch of new spending and stuff. Like that's a problem. But if we can start to wrangle this stuff back, start to see some actual like tax policy that makes sense, some reinvestment that makes any sense, like that'd be a good thing. But so far I've been very unimpressed with like Trump's fiscal policy stuff. Like he's a hell of a cheerleader, but from a policy standpoint, like I haven't seen anything that's got me super excited. The interest rate thing is something to be excited about, but it's got to be coupled with a lot of other things.
What did you want to see out of Trump? What with this fiscal policy and all that? Is there something you're saying that is wrong, or did you expect more, or what did you?
So, I mean, first of all, he was talking about, hey man, we're gonna audit Fort Knox, we're gonna close the IRS. I mean, he was talking some big, deep changes to the economy and stuff that really starts to remove friction. And that's the other thing is like, one of the things about the IRS and the Federal Reserve System is that it actually keeps your poor and middle class people in that position. Because like for a guy, like I'm like an upper middle class guy. And so like I can afford accountants, but after a certain amount of time, it's like, man, I am spending so much money on accountants right now. And like big corporations, big banks, they don't care. They can hire 1,000 accountants to just make their books be whatever they need them to be. But for me, I don't have that risk reward ratio and all that extra budget to make that all play out for me. So the tax code needs to be simplified for, the average kind of guy, the kind of guy that, from the hood to like, again, your upper middle class neighborhood, like all of those people are being held where they are with just the complexity of the tax code. It's not even the rates and all that stuff, which is its own problem, but the complexity keeps you confused. It keeps you scared, and it keeps you not growing out of such a system because I don't know, can I invest in that? Can I make a meme coin? Can I start a business? Should I be importing stuff right now? Like this tariff policy back and forth, like the tariff thing, the up and down, now it's Canada, now it's Switzerland, now it's this and that, now it's screw China, and it's 50%. Okay, now it's 20%. Now it's 75%. Now it's this. It's like it's the chaos of it makes everybody afraid. It makes everybody kind of take a step back and say, okay, we gotta let. Like, what do we predict? How do we predict what to do in the next quarter, next 18 months or whatever? And it's that kind of thing. It's the wishy-washy fiscal policy stuff that makes it really difficult for your guy that runs a $10 million company. Maybe he's importing a little bit of this. Maybe he's maybe he works in steel. Maybe he's a farmer or whatever. But it's like the billionaires are fine. The billionaires love it. They're like, man, just keep adding to the tax code. It just keeps trickling up to me, But exactly. But it's your guy that's trying to break out of I'm pretty rich, but I'm still working 60, 70, 80 hours a week for it. Those guys really need a break. And it's those guys, like that's the thing. Like it's literally everybody from the hood to the guys living in a $2 or $3 million house, we're actually all in the same boat together. We're all being oppressed together. And it's like 85%, 90% of the country. And so we need simplification. And Trump promised a simplification, and it has been anything but. It has gotten a lot more complex, and it's gotten a lot more confusing. And I think that really sucks.
Yeah, I totally agree. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about Ethereum hitting all-time highs. And we're also going to get Kurt's opinion on XRP.
Oh, boy.
We all know Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence. Powered by vibes. This is Peasy.
Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin. It's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?
Ethereum's new milestone. Ethereum hits new all-time high. I've always been an advocate of Ethereum, and I got to tell you, Kurt, I don't even know why.
No one does.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad.
No. Ethereum is a Rube Goldberg machine with a really, really good marketing campaign around it.
Is that what it is?
It is. It's a boondoggle. Like the whole thing, from an engineering standpoint, it's insane. It is literally. So here's the funny thing about Ethereum. Ethereum can only be as fast as its slowest node on the network. And so, like, pure communism, in my opinion, it's like, well, we got to make sure that the worst of us is the standard bearer, right? And we're talking about like what, 15 transactions a second globally. Like, that's the power of a graphing calculator. And so when people talk about like, hey man, we're going to tokenize and smart contract, like that kind of stuff, really cool. Software standpoint, programmability, like Ethereum is super cool on that stuff. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like putting a really cool paint job on a car that's got like no engine. It's like, hey, oh man, what is that thing, like 800 horsepower? And be like, no, man, it's got like a Briggs and Stratton. It's like 2.5 horsepower under the hood. You're like, wait, what? Why?
But it looks like a Lamborghini.
It looks great. Yeah, man. Just do not race anybody, but go to the car show, like wave at the chicks. It's great.
See, I thought I was a complete and total moron. I'm like, I'm telling people, hey man, Ethereum, just go make sure you get some Ethereum. And I don't even know why. I don't know. I just number go up. Okay, there's no number
for sure.
go up.
It's super investable for that reason, right? Like it's novel at the time that it came out, especially. It was like, oh wow, all this stuff that Bitcoin decided it's not going to do anymore. Like Ethereum's like, hey man, Bitcoin shut off all the smart contract and token stuff, all the stuff that was like super fun for your old school guys. And like a bunch of old school guys pivoted into Ethereum because like, hey, at least we're having fun. Right. And, it made a lot of sense. Today, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my opinion, because I mean, it literally can't scale. Like I've seen $1,500 fees on Ethereum for, hey man, I just want to launch my smart contract. I'm just trying to join a DEX. I just want to trade on Sushi Swap or whatever, and like, if you weren't already rich, like it's great if you're rich, but if you weren't already rich, like you're really stuck here. It's like, wow, I made $500. Like I just want to cash out. Like transaction fee, $1,500. Like your coins are stuck, So like that kind of thing it's just really bad engineering at the lowest level, but really good engineering at the top. So it's like really weird to me that can't be made better in 10, 12 years or whatever it's been. But yeah.
I had an issue the other night. I was working with somebody's wallet. I'm not going to say who. And I was trying to what was I trying to swap it or something? Like I was trying to do something and it just kept giving me errors. And I was like, just give me my keys. And I just took my keys and I switched to Phantom. I was like, Phantom, take over because I don't know what the hell is going on over here. Yeah. But that's the great thing about crypto is you got your keys. You can take those bad boys anywhere.
For sure. Well, and that's that's the other cool. Like there are lots of cool things about it. Like the pamphlet version of Ethereum is awesome. But it's when you get into the nitty gritty, I always say like the problem with Ethereum is that if it succeeds, it fails. It's very cool when there's 10,000 people using it or 50,000, like whatever the number is. But when you start to get it congested, it's like trying to drive from LA to San Francisco during rush hour. It's like, that should be easy. It's an 8-lane highway. Like we're going to make it, And like, no, you're sitting in gridlock. It's like, who designed this place? So and then it just sucks. And how do you fix that? I don't know how you fix the California problem either, but
designed like the roads in Boston.
Yes.
Grayscale's bold move. Grayscale files S1 to launch a spot XRP ETF. Now I know you gotta be a fan of XRP. Come on, Kurt. Tell me you're a fan of XRP.
I'm not. Again, for similar reasons, actually.
Okay.
Like XRP, if you just talk about like what XRP can do in theory, it's awesome. It's a great business model. Like do all the stuff they want to do for the banks and like, hey man, like use RippleNet, use the XRapid system, do it like all that stuff. Super, super cool. Problem is they've been talking the same game for almost 15 years at this point. And like, you remember when they bought MoneyGram? They bought MoneyGram in like 2018. They're like, okay, look, we're going to make MoneyGram 100 times more efficient, all this stuff. And they very quietly, like they just sold MoneyGram back in like 2021 or something, like 2.5 years later, because their technology doesn't work. And it doesn't work for the same kind of reason. They're like, oh yeah, in theory, 50,000 transactions a second and whatever. But in real life, it's like maybe 500 transactions a second before the network just starts. It starts going on the fritz. And like, and the reason is every dollar and the incentives really suck in crypto because every dollar that you spend engineering something that's awesome, like technically awesome, would have been better spent from a portfolio standpoint, just buying more coins. And so you have every incentive to just keep hoarding and doing nothing. And like I say this all the time, I'm like, man, every time I shit on Ethereum, I should have just bought more Ethereum. I'd be a lot more wealthy, but like, I'm not wrong, but it's a crazy thing. But the problem is it can't ever grow out of this niche. And now the niche that it's become is now everything is a store of value, like a spot ETF or whatever is like, that's not useful. Why does XRP need a spot ETF? Like ETFs are for like, when you need to invest in cattle and you can't like move the cattle to the New York Stock Exchange. So you have to have an ETF that it's like, don't worry, those cattle are there. But XRP in theory, like you should be able to send it here and there instantaneously for free. So the fact that it needs an ETF tells you that it is as illiquid and difficult to move as cattle in the 1800s. And so this stuff it's fintech. It is supposed to be next gen fintech. And it's worse than the last gen's fintech, and it's real bad.
That's a soundbite. Damn, it's worse than last gen's fintech. Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's sold as better.
Show me what XRP has made better, other than somebody's portfolio. It's made billionaire after billionaire after billionaire by holding XRP. Yeah. I don't think anybody else can say anything that it has done to make anything more efficient, more useful. Like it, where is it? But they claim every year it's like, yeah, man, Santander's doing a thing, and they're over like, oh, Bank of America, Citigroup's over, like, yeah, we're having a meeting with the guys from JP Morgan Chase now. It's like, guys, it's been like 12 years of you telling me we're this close to the whole world running on XRP. Like, when does that actually happen? And at this point, people saying like, oh, it's coming soon. Like, I'm sorry, that is like the biggest Stockholm syndrome group of people. But again, they haven't been punished for it though, right? Like they're doing well. They have made a lot of money just holding XRP, and like, if everybody's being honest with themselves, that's what they were there for, right? They don't care if Citigroup is 10 times more efficient. They want to make money on the asset that Citigroup needs to buy to become more efficient. And so they made the money without having to make anybody's lives better, which is, I mean, that's the best. Like, again, you're the slave owner with the biggest whip, right? Like, yeah, slavery's bad, but go get me another mint julep. This is pretty all right,
Well, it seems like they're trying to do this more at the wholesale level, because you see them working with countries on the CBDC in Europe and other countries or whatever. I still don't know how feasible that is, but it seems like at the very least they should be able to handle wholesale transactions. Only like 2 of those happening today.
but why not just use Swift or something? Like it's if it's not better.
I think it's about the instant settlement. I think that's why it's better than Swift. Swift is still at the end of the night,
But why does that matter? If you're only doing a couple a day, it's when you're talking about like millions a day or billions a day. Like we're talking about, hey, let's 1,000x our efficiency. Like, here's the thing, man. I want the human race to be 10,000 times better in 10 years than it is today.
Right.
And like, I don't know if we're even 2 times better than we were when I was born in the 80s. And the reason is like, we keep making these decisions where we pretend everything's okay or everything's better, and it's actually a little worse every year. But like, hey man, the new season of The Bachelor is going to be pretty spicy though. And like, people are like, yeah, I would be pissed off, but I'll just like drink another gallon of Pepsi and watch some stupid show, and like, I'm going to be fine.
Damn. There goes our hopes for XRP. Damn it.
Sorry.
I ran into somebody in a hotel a couple of weeks back when I was at my family reunion, and he heard me talking to one of the family members about crypto, and I mentioned XRP, and he was like, "Hey, should I buy XRP?" And I'm like, "You better. That number is going up. That number's
right.
you do not own enough."
Everything I said aside, like, yeah, buy the dumbest crypto. Like, your dumbest friend is going to make more money than you. And this has been my experience. Like, I can't tell you how many people are like, call me up from like the guy I only knew in detention in high school. He's like, bro, tell me you got some of this. And he's, driving a new car or whatever else. I'm like, bro, that's awesome. Like, congratulations. I'm glad it all worked out.
Let me borrow some money.
Right.
Oh man, ain't that the truth, man? It seems like the more you know, the less you make.
There's that, like, you want to be somewhere between like 80 and 95 IQ. Like, any more than that, like, you're stuck in middle management. Any less than that, that's a problem too. But like right in there, it's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna ape into it again. And like, they get lucky. They make it happen.
It's the truth, man. Like, people like, oh, Hotep, you're a genius, all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, but I wish I was stupid. Because if I was stupid, I'd be rich.
Right. Happier too, So I'm sitting here with anxiety, like thinking about existential threats. Like, man,
it is not fun, yo. It is not fun at all. Markets on fire. Over $1 trillion was added to U.S. stock market today. Over 250 billion was added to the crypto market cap. Kurt, I gotta tell you what happened, man. Listen, last night I knew that Trump and Powell were going to speak today, particularly Powell. And I said, you know what? In the morning, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get some derivatives. I'm going to play this thing up, right?
Yeah.
And then this morning, I had a dream that I was up like 1,000% or something like that. And I stopped to like check something, and when I came back, it was like 500%, and I was like, sell, right? So this is what I'm dreaming about, is derivatives in my fucking dreams, right?
That's you need to drink more, man. Like, kill off some of those brain cells.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this morning I wake up 9:30, and the SPY jumped like 3 points, and I was like, I don't want to chase, right? Because I'm like, maybe that's the pop. So I was like, I'm gonna wait for the big red candle, and then it was a little red candle, and then I hesitated. So then I just continued with my workout. I did like one set. I came back, and there was a green God candle, and I was sick. completely ruined my workout. I was like, I can't even. This is.
Yeah, you can't go back to deep squats after that, man.
It's a rough day for me today, man. It was a rough day because the spider at that point, it jumped 10 points, bro.
Yeah. No, it was crazy.
10 points, and I knew it would. And the thing is, you do the smart thing is to wait for the announcement. You wait for Powell to say what he's saying, and then you make your play. But I was going to jump the gun. And instead of jumping the gun, I did the smart thing, which was the dumb thing. I fucking hate being smart. This is trash, bro.
Yeah, it's not working out, man.
Oh, man. Fucking terrible. But yeah, the market's back. I don't know what it's going to do next week. We're at all-time highs on the indexes, QQQ all-time highs, Russell all-time highs, S&P all-time highs. I don't know. What do you think next week? You think we're going to continue to trend higher, or we're going to get a correction? I mean, it's hard. You can't really guess, right?
Yeah. Who knows, right? Like you have a like there's no fundamentals anymore. Like did the world get that much more productive? Did the companies of the S&P 500 have a breakthrough? Like no. Like one dude with white hair who wears a suit to work every day was like, you know what? We're going to lower the interest rates. And just freaking all the 80 IQ guys who work at all the firms, they're like, buy. And like, we're just along for the ride, man. It's like the monkeys have taken over the zoo, and we're like, we're just here for it. Like, go for the ride.
Yeah. Fucking terrible, man. I'm going to have nightmares tonight. I just know it. I think tonight I'm just going to do some chess puzzles and try to forget about it. Intel's new silent partner. The U.S. government now officially owns 10% stake in Intel.
Yeah.
Is that a conflict of interest?
See, that's the kind of thing if it happened in Trump's first presidency. Like if China would have done that, like, hey, China takes a 10% stake in AMD, it would have been like, yeah, this is what's wrong with the communists. Like it just would have been like, Trump does it. And it's like, deal. We did it. Like, let's go golfing. And like, no, it's really bad. Like that's some like Soviet shit. And yeah, like that's,
okay,
controlling the means of production. Intel's one of the most valuable companies in the world.
Right.
Like their R&D, like it's
AI chips. Yeah.
And not that we're not like a weird neo-socialist experiment anyways for like since I don't know World War II ish, but it's not the direction you want to keep going. Like, what do we want? All the major banks and all the big tech companies and everybody's just owned by the U.S. government and everybody's pensions and just everything's in one big wrapped. It's just like, just give me one button to click. Just go click button. That's your job. Everybody.
That's what it's come back to, Yeah. All right. So I had a feeling. I was like, this doesn't, government buys 10% stake. And I'm like, wait, this is wrong, right? Like, I can't explain why exactly, but my shit meter is going.
Well, you know what I don't know? Like, what are the other large holders? Like 10% could be like enough to steer the board, Like, are there other groups that have more than 10% share in the company? Because that could be the real problem is like, not only is it 10%, it might be like a bully type of vote on here's what Intel's doing with the world. Then it's, we're talking some real dystopian stuff.
Wait a second, bro. BlackRock is at 8.92. Vanguard's at 8.82. State Street's at 4.6. Geode is at 2.23. The government is Intel's largest shareholder.
There you go. So Donald Trump is the Donald Trump's in charge of Intel by de facto.
Oh shit. Oh shit. The government is Intel's largest shareholder right now. That's wild.
Yeah.
Over
that's
two-thirds of the company's shares are held by institutional investors such as mutual funds and hedge funds. That's normal. Wow. And the U.S. just became the major holder. The remaining shares are held by the general public. Yeah. Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're right, yo. They might have just that's feels like a takeover almost.
Yeah, I mean it's a coup. Like that's ridiculous.
Damn. All right. Well, you know, all we can do is well, let me see. Am I gonna buy Intel shares? Let's see.
Right, yeah. Well, here's where this gets really weird.
Okay.
Intel chips, like we know the NSA, CIA, all these, like they backdoor some of these chips to where even like when you've turned your phone off, it is physically off, they can quietly turn it back on and just turn your microphone. Like this is not conspiracy theory stuff. We know that is a capability with certain chipsets. And so now the US government being the largest shareholder in the largest chip manufacturer, that turns into, who knows what with all the chips in your house. Like you can start turning them all on, start doing like echolocation and stuff. You could probably have an NSA van at the end of the block and see what room everybody's sitting in, doing heat signature stuff. Like, and who knows what else? Who knows what else they could be monitoring? They're probably monitoring my whoop right now. They're like, hey, Kurt's heart rate's through the roof talking about this. We got him.
Yo. That's crazy, bro.
No good.
Oh, man. Well, Leslie, what up, Leslie? Leslie says she's buying more XRP, more XLM, and more Quant. Somebody just made a deal on Stellar. Who's running on? I think, PayPal stablecoin is running on Stellar now. They just got approval to run it on Stellar.
Fascinating.
Yeah. What's your take on private companies issuing their own stable coin? Like, is this more Illuminati conspiracy theories that we need to be concerned with, or what?
I think in theory, this could be there's two ways it plays out, right? Presuming that they're not all in bed with each other and sharing board members and sharing investors. And it's like, okay, who owns PayPal? Who owns Venmo? Who owns all these other, actually, I think PayPal owns Venmo, but if you look at all these companies, like you just were saying, Vanguard and State Street and BlackRock, and they kind of own everybody. If they're managing money, they've got the same group of hedge funds that kind of pull the puppet strings on all this stuff. And so it looks like competition, but it's not actually competition. And the cool thing about stable coins and blockchain technology in general is that like you can atomically swap between assets. Like it'd be pretty cool if I could just cross the border into somewhere like France. No, I don't want to go to France, but let's say I go to Germany or something, and I can just atomically swap into euros, and then maybe I fly to the Philippines and I can atomically swap into Philippine peso or whatever without having to do all the like stand in line and exchange, have somebody look at me because I'm a giant piece of crap American or whatever, and like if I could just do that, so there's cool stuff about it.
Right.
The problem is that when it's the same companies that are issuing these things and they're really just shells of each other, they're not actually competing with each other, because competitive monies are awesome. Right. So if like I live near Miami, if it was like private banks in Miami, run by like, hey, we're a 30-year-old bank or a credit union or something like that, and we're going to issue our own stable coins, and we're going to compete with the Bank of Fort Lauderdale and then the Bank of West Palm Beach and all these other things, and like who's got the best money, like that kind of thing, that's really cool. But this is competition theater, and cool features, but it, again, until you start saying like, you know what, I think Kamala Harris is a trans man or something, like all of a sudden, like, where'd all my money go? Like I had money here, and like it's simply censorable. Like it's what a guy pressing button. Like, you know what? We don't like this guy. Like he said the wrong thing. So let's push him back in a line. He has to call to get his money back. We'll let him know what he needs to do. So yeah. I
mean, it's like, we're all on SNAP benefits now, and somebody can just turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Geolocation, geofencing. Yeah. And even with the, atomic swaps, they might put limits on that. Hey, you can only do this amount per day. It's all programmable money.
Yeah. Well, it already is too. You get a lot of people that are doing like big drug deals and stuff in Tether, and like Tether has OFAC compliance backdoors, FINRA. Tether just this year, somebody got hacked. I forget who it was that got hacked for some big amount of money, $200 million or something. And Tether was like, oh, here, like we can see where some of it is. Like we'll lock it, we'll send it back, this and that. They took back like half of it inside of an hour, and like you couldn't even do that with the bank. Like bank robbers would get away for a couple days first, and like Tether sort of claims to be this kind of black market dollar thing for crypto traders and whatever else, but it's not cypherpunk anything. It's literally, it's a central bank digital currency, and the central bank is Tether Corporation instead of the Federal Reserve, and they got a lot more power than a lot of people realize. So yeah.
I remember when Circle IPO this year, I was like, hey, y'all, we getting into this. That thing exploded. We made like 300, 400% on that play. Yeah. I was like, man, you got to bet on the Illuminati, man.
Always.
If you can't beat them, join them. It's that type of situation.
You kind of have to. It's like I hate these people, but it's like, man, you gotta feed yourself. You gotta feed your kids. Invest in people that can disrupt the system, but don't go broke trying.
Right. Like that was my thing. I'm like, what am I supposed to tell my grandkids when we're all broke? Hey, I spent my time exposing the Illuminati, and she's sitting there like, in a Starbucks uniform and goes to work and she polishes the robot that's the real barista. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Cool story, Grandpa. Break time's over.
Exactly. That's not the future I want to have at all. So what are you working on these days, man?
But a bunch of stuff, scalable blockchain stuff, Terra node implementation. So we've got, we are at the cusp. I almost everything I work on is in the BSV blockchain space. So BSV being the most contentious, hated fork in the history of Bitcoin. And, everybody hates us. Like the one thing that all the crooks can agree on is that we're the worst. And so, but we have created a microservices based Bitcoin node implementation that is capable of 1 million transactions per second.
Okay.
And in those 1 million transactions per second, it's capable of robust smart contracts, tokens, higher level application stuff. Now, at a million,
this is a big block.
Big block Bitcoin, but big block Bitcoin did like out fractal to its most logical and maybe most crazy conclusion. But at a million transactions a second, like we're talking about, like Ethereum's good for 15 transactions a second. Visa on Black Friday does about 65,000 transactions a second. So we're talking like orders of magnitude more than like core banking is capable of right now.
Okay.
The reason for that is that I want to do the stuff that XRP keeps promising they're going to do. I want to do the stuff that Stellar Lumens keeps promising and what Ethereum keeps promising. Like the stuff they promise, the ideas they have are good ideas. Like people being free, people having self-sovereign custody of their money, being able to use self-sovereign logins and own their own data and be their own bank and all of that stuff. Like that is my dream. That's why I got into Bitcoin in like 2012, 2013. And I'm working my ass off to make it happen. Not just me and a group of my crazy friends, but that's what we're working on. That's what we're passionate about. I want every promise that a blockchain ever made to come true, and we're swinging for the fences until either it happens or until they silence all of us.
That's dope. What else are you working on? I'm sure that's not the only thing you're working on.
No, certainly not the only thing. I'm working on being a good dad. I got 3 kids. I think last time we spoke or when I was on your show, I have 3 kids.
Wow. Congrats.
Thank you. Spend a lot of time working on my community. We've got, 8 or 9 of my neighbors now. We all I got them all going to the same church. We host Sunday dinners with the whole neighborhood in my house. I get 20, 30 people in my house, teaching them like all the young men how to lift weights and how to raise chickens and how to do all that kind of stuff. Like be a real man. And then I teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the evenings too. So I got my BJJ black belt about 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And do a bunch of that too. So I keep myself real busy, but most of my, I do my work, my corporate stuff, my blockchain, my disruption stuff, but at my core, I'm a family man. I'm a church man. I'm a martial artist. I'm a warrior in the garden. So that's where my heart's at.
You are one of the craziest transformations I've ever seen. Because when we first talked, you were like this tubby little fat boy.
You caught me at the height of my cakes and sourdough era during COVID. So I was always chunky. And right now I'm 6'3" and I weigh 245 pounds today.
Okay.
So, but I was always an athlete. But I was like, linebacker football. So it's like during season, like I look pretty good, but I'm still like kind of a fat guy. Like I'm a fat guy with like a big chest. But then I become a dad and, COVID lockdowns and all this stuff. And now I'm a fat guy who sits on the couch and that doesn't go very well. So now the last, about 2.5 years, I've been on, big time cut, dial the diet in and all that stuff. And I'm, walking around like
program. What's the program you use to cut and lean and get like, what are you doing? I hope you're not doing the TRT stuff.
No.
Oh, thank God.
Good.
Thank God.
The most important thing, good sleep. Like most men with low T, man, it's the problem is sleep. Their circadian rhythms all screwed up. They got all kinds of problems there. The other one is minerals, man. People's minerals are so out of whack. You need magnesium, zinc, selenium, boron, and most guys are walking around with like 2% of what they should have in their blood. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of it is like, man, eat real food. Like I eat 10 eggs a day. I have lamb or beef for basically every meal. I have a little bit of white rice. I eat a little bit of fruit, a little bit of vegetables, drink a lot of water, and I work out every day. And that's it. It's like, the average dude 50 years ago was walking around with 3 times the testosterone of an average dude today. And the reason is they got up with the sun. They walked outside and they let the sun fill them up. They worked their asses off and they ate real food. And that's it, man. Like,
Yeah. We help guys with testosterone issues, not TRT. We sell this wonderful product, Apex. It's 100% herbal, nice. Tonka Ali, et cetera. But we always advise people. Stuff. Yeah, but we always advise people, man, you got to exercise. I always tell people, if you're not going to get up and exercise, do not buy my product because you're going to tell me it doesn't work because nothing works when you don't exercise, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So I always tell people, eat good, exercise, and then get the product, and you'll see, great results. Yep. I have a question here from the chat. Ask Kurt if he thinks that jiu-jitsu was like chess. Do you play chess?
I do play chess.
Jiu-jitsu?
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
What's your rating?
I don't know. I'm not that good. So I play with my 6-year-old son. My 6-year-old son loves chess. So I play like an hour of chess a day with my 6-year-old. Wow. But I'm not like jumping into tournaments or any of that. I have no idea how good I actually am, but like I know the game.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu is very much like physical chess. Like I see guys come in like D1 wrestlers and stuff who are super tough. In any other situation, they're gonna maul the room, but they go up against a jiu-jitsu purple belt who's 30 pounds lighter than them. They're a software programmer during the day. They don't look dangerous. Just using their brain and understanding their own physical body mechanics, they can remain calm. They can let that world-class athlete wear himself out in the first 2 minutes. They're protecting themselves and not letting themselves get crushed. Then all of a sudden, D1 athlete guy starts getting super frustrated, starts making mistakes, and then the jiu-jitsu guy gobbles them up. And it's just like a serious chess pro playing against an amateur. It's like, I'll make you think you can win this. Like we're playing, okay, we're 8 moves in, and all of a sudden you realize, like, man, I'm losing a lot of pieces here. Like this is not good. And and then all of a sudden it's like checkmate. You're like, oh wait, checkmate. Okay, but yes, jiu-jitsu and chess. Chess player, I would rather teach autistic chess players how to do jiu-jitsu than almost anybody else on earth. Because an autistic person, the way that they systematize everything, I can make an autist a world champion. I guarantee it. Like I love the guys who show up and they're like, well, I'm an accountant and I don't like making eye contact. I'm like, look, man, we're like, be my athlete. Like we're going to make you a world-class world champion here.
Yeah, me and Renee been arguing about this forever. I'm like, chess is not like jujitsu because I'm like super into chess, and I'm like, no, you do not understand. But I'm guessing I'm gonna have to take some jujitsu classes.
Yeah, man, come to class. You're friends with Joe Rogan too, man. Like, where do you live? You're up in the Northwest or Northeast, right? Jersey.
Yeah,
okay.
Jersey, yeah.
Dude, Jersey's a mecca. There's a lot of good schools in Jersey.
There are. I got people ready to teach me. You know what I'm saying? I got a wrestling background, so I can definitely get on the mat and get busy.
Do it.
Yeah, I just have to cut my hair first.
You don't have to. We get tie it in a bun. I don't know how all the dread stuff works. It looks like it'd be a very big bun, but
it's gonna be a huge bun. Yeah.
But you'd be all right. I get guys with dreads. I get guys with afros. We get plenty of girls with thick hair and stuff. I'm in South Florida. We get a lot of Brazilian girls who got like 8 pounds of hair on their head. So
okay,
it can happen.
Yeah, I just don't want to get that shit caught up. I'm like, my hair, my
lose a dread on the mat.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna lose a dread on the mat. But I always tell people, if you see me cut my hair, just know something dangerous is coming down the pipe.
For sure.
Yeah. Hey, man, I had a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow Kurt. Make sure you follow him. He has so much knowledge. I've known this guy since the great debates, my Bitcoin debates. And we got a lot of history together. And I'm glad to see him doing well. Thank you for stopping through, man, and having this conversation with me tonight, bro.
For sure. I appreciate you, man. Your show is a launching pad for me. And it's been a good time. So thank you, and I appreciate your friendship, and thanks for having me back. It's been great.
I'm glad I could be that. At least somebody's doing good off my show. All right, later, man.
See ya.
We all know Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence, powered by vibes. This is Peasy.
Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin. It's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?